Welcome everyone to Flux Dev Meeting. What is today? February 12th.
February 12th, yeah. So some news to share. We have started working on the Flux 2.5 release. There is a prep issue. Chat. So this time we were a little bit more organized and we kind of captured everything in the roadmap. Also, thanks to Mateus, we also kept the roadmap almost updated real time. Once we merged something, the roadmap was updated, so the prep issue does not have references to all things because the roadmap is quite up to date. We are starting this week the release. There is a two-phase release stage where, so first we need to release source controller, and Mateus will write the changelog and we'll try to do that tomorrow. So we release source controller, then we have to merge the source controller bump into the Flux distribution in Flux 2. And once we do that, then we enable, we unblock the pull requests around GitHub app authentication, which can't be merged because they refer to a forked version of source control. So we have to release it. Then Deepti can go rebase. Mateus did the end-to-end testing. Everything should be good. Then we can merge them and move forward with image automation controller, customize Helm and everything else. So I expect somewhere around the middle of next week to have the full release on. And this new version comes with cell expressions for customized controller Helm checks, notification controller receiver, a bunch of improvements on the alerting side. We have even metadata from annotations. We have this cell stuff. We have improved a lot. Other things like commit status for OCI repository. And Mateus is working on some small fixes before the next notification controller release. Yeah, so that's the heads up. Hopefully everything will go okay and we will have a release next week, early next week. Any concerns?
Those are all highly anticipated features. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've seen that there were some discussions on Slack around being able to extend Helm releases with custom health checks. Yeah, I'm not sure if we should deviate from the Helm SDK wait flag, because then people say, oh, I'm running upgrade wait and it works, but Flux fails, or vice versa, right? But given the fact that, and there are two things here, like people saying, oh, we want custom health checks, people saying, oh, we want these custom health checks or to behave like customized control. So customized control basically continuously runs the health checks and everything, right? based on the interval. If you set it like 10 minutes, every 10 minutes, it will see are all deployments being rolled out, what happens to all the apps and so on. But Helm controller and Helm is not built for that. If you do an upgrade, that's waiting is part of the upgrade action, basically. So we can't just upgrade forever to do the wait.
And then customized controller, even if you don't apply anything on a reconciliation, it will still check the dependencies with that logic, right? Even if it didn't apply anything in that reconciliation.
Yeah, but it's very different from the Helm model, right? Where in Helm you upgrade from one version to another, from one feature set to another, and so on. So yeah, I'm not for adding custom health checks to Helm just yet. We need to think it through. But once we have now custom health checks in customized controller, and since a Flux customization is what applies Helm releases, because Helm release shouldn't end up on the cluster with kubectl apply, or if you do that, I don't really care about that use case. In the Flux, if you actually use Flux, you should be using a Flux customization that applies Helm releases. And that means you can use the health checks in Flux customization that can target any object from inside the Helm release. And that's how you can have continuously health checks on objects which are basically generated by Helm release. So let's say you have a Helm release, has, I don't know, some custom resource. You can say in the Flux customization, you can say health checks, name of the custom resource, namespace, health check expression. This is how you can look at the status, and customized controller actually do all of that. So I don't really think it's necessary to add anything to Helm. Right.
Fair enough. If Helm itself ever introduces something like that, maybe we can support, right?
How would they? It's a CLI.
Yeah, it's a big question for them.
Nothing runs continuously.
Yeah, but like in the wait logic they have, if they have custom, if they ever build something like, supporting custom logic in their wait logic, if they ever do that, yeah, maybe we can support it.
Yeah, I think the chart metadata could somehow be extended and teach Helm how to wait for custom resources and all that stuff.
But of course, we will not build that, right? We will only support it if Helm does it first.
Yeah, if it's in the SDK, of course, we are going to support it. But that's a discussion for Helm version 4. I don't know.
Yep.
Hopefully, after KubeCon, I will have a better understanding of what Helm version 4 is meant to be. I've seen they want to work on it and they restarted the whole maintainers program. So we'll see. Any other topics to discuss? If not, we can end up early and get back to working on the release. I don't mind. Ogi, you have something?
Yeah, just a status update based on the discussions that we had last week. I'm ramping up learning CEL so that I can participate in some of the testing and maybe even work on some of the change requests that are pending. Plus, I am making some strides setting up a bare metal cluster I will be using that cluster to install Captain, Flux, and Flagger, and essentially prepare for a feasibility study that Deutsche Telekom is interested in seeing.
Cool. Yeah, let me know how it went. I suggest using the Flux operator to deploy Flux itself on the clusters. Then for Flagger, we have docs on. Basically, it's just a hand release, right? That you add to the repo. And Captain should work the same. So basically, you should be able to, spin up the cluster, run a command that deploys the operator. The operator then sets up everything. Then you can tear down the cluster and recreate it very fast. And that should give you, I don't know, a dev environment that you can reset all the time. Because when you're doing development, from my experiences, you mess up everything and you need a quick way to, clean it up and restore it.
I probably take it around several patterns because the cluster that I'm currently in the process of setting up, I'm going to be showing to this company that has already signaled their support for going before Deutsche Telekom with the feasibility study. And they have no idea how Flux and Flagger on the one hand or Captain on the other could be working. And so hopefully by showing them some of the tutorials that are available for Captain and Flux, for instance, they will then give me access to their lab because I'm using 2 nanoPis and my Mac Book Air to create the cluster. And I don't think that that's going to be very impressive going before a potential customer like Deutsche Telekom.
Yeah, I'm using Mac Studio for all things for my dev clusters, but that's like a mini data center.
Right.
It has, 32 CPUs and 128 gigabytes of memory, all of that crazy stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you need
hopefully
something.
I will have access to better hardware going forward. Anyway, so that's the status update that I just wanted to share.
Okay, Kingdom, you have anything?
Cozy
to
Stack
discuss?
0.25 is out. As of 3 days ago. It's not really a major feature release, but it does include the Flux dashboards, which it did not include before in their Grafana instance. So
Are the ones from our repos?
I think so. It's 2 dashboards, control plane and the other one.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're copied.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should. So if you have time, can you look into the Loki situation? I know we are stuck on a deprecated chart in the monitoring repo for, I don't know, 2 years now. And basically needs some kind of stateful set. I don't know. I think you looked at it long time ago. But the idea is if we can't make this work on kind, I'm for deleting Loki and everything from there. Because we have something in there majorly deprecated. That chart is no longer used, and basically we are telling people to deploy this stuff, right? So if we don't find a way to be able to run Loki on Kubernetes kind with that local storage provisioner, then we should just remove Loki altogether, and that's it. And tell people to find their own way. The monitoring stack is more about metrics and so on.
Okay, I didn't realize we were still blocked on an old version. I'm actually doing this kind of stuff right now, and I hadn't looked at that. But I will look into that. It should be something we can move past.
Yeah, let me check.
I think the cluster that I was testing on at the time didn't have storage classes, and kind actually does, even if they're local path storage classes. So it may or may not still be an issue that we can't move past easily. But I'll use kind to do the actual testing, since that's what we tell people to do in the tutorial.
Yeah, please use kind. We also run it in CI, so we really need to make sure kind and their with the default storage class works. Then in the docs we tell people, hey, you should figure out storage, which is specific to your cloud vendor, your bare metal setup, whatever, right? But if it doesn't work on kind, we can't have it in the examples, because then CI breaks and so on. Yeah, so the pull request is 1 year old. And it was 6 months old. It was 6 months after the Loki stack got deprecated. So we are running like very, very old version that Grafana doesn't support it anymore and so on. So if you can figure that out, that will be really good before the release.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, let me give you the link. It's this pull request, which I'm not for reviving. We can just close this one and you create a new pull request that updates everything, or if that doesn't work, you create a pull request that deletes everything Loki from that repo, right?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's have the half hour back and do some work on Flux.
Okay,
Thank you,
Godspeed with
everybody.
release.
Okay. Talk to you soon, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.